My name is Ashley Morales, and joining me today on Impact Catalyst is Katarina Tassara Runyon from the Lealman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center. Thank you so much for being here today, Katarina.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about the Family Center for those who may not be familiar with what you do?
Yeah, so the Lillman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center is located in Lillman in mid Pinellas County. We have been serving the community for the past 23 years, and we are essentially the neighborhood family center. So, exactly what that means is that we are a nonprofit organization that is nestled into the community in a neighborhood in Lillman. We are one of eight neighborhood family centers that was originally funded by the Juvenile Welfare Board of Pinellas County as an investment, really in an effort to strengthen families and strengthen communities throughout Pinellas County. So our focus is our Lealman neighbors, and we also heavily focus on the Asian community, but we serve everyone. Everyone is welcome at the Lillman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center.
And so, I know that you support families through a bunch of different initiatives at the Family Center, including food services, events. Can you expand on some of the different ways that you support families in the area?
So we do a little bit of everything. Frankly, we invest heavily in family support services. And one of the reasons for that is, again, we know that when families are healthy, the community is healthy. So, for example, we are a designated access center. So, for parents or individuals that perhaps have lost their employment or looking for employment or looking to access benefits like disability, like job readiness services, kid care for their child, health insurance, Medicare. We provide family support staff professionals that are trained to go ahead and help folks on their journey to stabilization. In that process, we also have after school program so that kids have a safe place to come to after school. We know that the hours between 3, and 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock when parents are still working are some of the most challenging times for youth because there's a lot of temptations, there's a lot of negative opportunities for activities that happen when adults aren't around. So we provide a safe place that's licensed for the Lillman community and the neighborhoods around Lillman. We also have a food pantry that's available to our neighbors in the community. We're really nestled in Lillman, so we have a lot of folks that just walk into our center for resources, for supports, and we certainly are able to help them, offset some of the cost of those basic needs, like having food. We do a summer program. We offer citizenship services to folks that are looking to establish their residency in the United States or their citizenship in the United States. So there's a little bit of everything that we do. I know I'm forgetting a million different things, but we really try to meet people where they're at and help to either connect them to resources in the community or provide the supports that we have available.
That's incredible. How have the programs that the center offers changed or grown over the past 2 decades? Because I'm sure from day one you weren't starting out doing a little bit of everything, but that's really what you've become.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, our whole focus is really on strengthening the community, and we do that through strengthening families. We know that families need to have their basic needs met in order to be able to parent, to be good employees, to be able to give back and participate and engage in their communities. Those basic needs need to be met. So really, our services have changed in the sense that we try to introduce new practices, new resources, but those basic needs that we all have of connection, of community, of having a safe place for our children to be, of being employed, having food on the table. Those are services that we don't ever see going away. Absolutely. Because they're part of that foundation. But I can tell you that we're really excited. In the past 23 years, we combined with the Asian Neighborhood Family Center, because we used to just be the Lillman Neighborhood Family Center. We combined with the Asian Neighborhood Family Center because our funder, the Juvenile Welfare Board of Pinellas County, saw that there was an increase in our Asian community in the Lillman, Pinellas Park, Kenneth City, all of our neighboring communities. So we combined, and now we're a one-stop shop for the neighborhood as well as the Asian community. So that was a big change from when we first got started. We actually added a satellite office for our Spanish-speaking community. So we have a small satellite office on 66th Street, and there we have our Latino Spanish-speaking family support specialists that our Latino community can meet with one-on-one. So that, that's been an improvement and an enhancement to the program. We also have achieved national accreditation through the Council on Accreditation, and that sets the bar for nonprofits that are serving the community, providing human services. That's something that we're very proud of, because it takes a lot of coming together and collaborating, with our board, hearing input from our community, our staff, really putting together our best practices and our programming in a way that is validated by a third party. So that's something that we are really proud of, as well as achieving licensing on our childcare or after-school childcare program. So now we're able to really communicate to families and to parents that we're not just an after-school program where kids come and stop by. All of our staff are trained. They've all had background checks. They all continue with their professional development and commit to best practices in supporting youth. So that's a little summary.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was just going to say that's huge for building trust with the community as well. People know when they come to you that you know what you're doing, and you have not only lots of experience doing it, but like you said, you have that third party letting them know that you can be a trusted resource for the community.
It took a lot of work, and I think that we're one of the few. We were actually the first neighborhood family center in Pinellas County to achieve accreditation. And in the Lillman community, I believe we may even be the only human service provider that is accredited through the Council on Accreditation. But it's an ongoing process. And as you know, working in the nonprofit sector, part of our mission is to continue to evolve, continue to look for best practices, look for resources. We partner heavily with the Juvenile Welfare Board of Pinellas County. Literacy is a huge part of our investment in the work that we do with kids. We know that, the first 3 years of school, kids are focused on learning to read. And then we know that after that, they're focused on reading to learn. So we are very much so aligned with the campaign for grade level reading, which was something we didn't start off doing. But as an example, those resources that come to us, initiatives that come to us, we really look to partner with the community.
That's incredible. Can you speak to a little bit of the importance of having a resource like this in the Lillman area specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, what can we say? I'll just start with, that it takes the village, right? It takes a village to raise a child. And we're just very excited and happy to be a part of the village in Lillman. We have a lot of staff that grew up in Lillman, that grew up attending our programs, and now have, become adults and have decided to give back to the community. So I would just say that every community, in order to be healthy, in order to thrive, needs a solid network of support, and a solid network of folks that are, not only collaborating, but they're really committed to collective impact. And that's an approach that we're certainly embracing and have embraced at the Lillman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center. And, we're just, we love Lillman. We love children. We love our families. We love our neighbors. We love our partners. As a nonprofit, you have to have that in you, right? That desire to serve, to help, and that's the privilege that we have, having been in the community for 23 years now.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a traditionally underserved community. So, I know that your family center, your neighborhood center, you've been there, one of the first to even spur this collective impact push that we've been seeing a lot in the past few years. How does it feel to kind of see some of these organizations and to see, not only promises made, but promises kind of now becoming fulfilled in the community? I'm sure that has to be great to see people coming together.
Yeah, there's an incredible amount of momentum and passion at the table. When we talk about collective impact, Lillman being part of the community redevelopment, service area in Pinellas County. The last couple of years, we've had nonprofits in the community that have really stepped up and, have said, okay, we want to take all of our efforts, to the next level and really be thoughtful and intentional in listening to our neighbors, listening to the residents in Lillman. And it's been beautiful to see, folks step up and, everyone collaborating from, our fire department to, the Lillman Exchange program and Lex, that has developed in the community to help lead that charge, the Florida Dream Center, PAL, Habitat for Humanity, all of our partners in this area, have been incredible in providing leadership and saying, okay, well, we all don't have the answers, but let's make sure everybody is at the table that needs to be at the table, and we can continue to move forward. So that's huge. We know that in Lillman, the Child Opportunity Index, is not super high for our kids. There's a lot of challenges our families are facing around secure employment, being underemployed. Our schools have a lot on their plate, have a lot of challenges with, children where maybe the primary language isn't English, and they're feverishly trying to get them to read, at grade level and catch up. So, we have a lot of data, we have a lot of attention right now on Lillman, and we want to maintain that momentum. We want to continue to do good things for our neighbors and for the community.
And so, speaking of a growth mindset, how do you see the Lillman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center growing in the coming years? I know you talked a lot about literacy as well. And as we work to meet those basic needs and we're able to focus on some of the higher level needs, is that a priority moving forward for the Neighborhood and Family Center?
I can tell you that, all of the research says our biggest return on investment is in our children.
Yeah.
Right. So that's something that as a family center, as the Neighborhood Family Center, we are deeply committed to. Our mission is not moving in any direction other than to continue to provide for those basic needs and ensure that Lillman's children are thriving, because we know that if they're thriving, those are our future leaders and our future homeowners and our future business owners. So if Lillman and, Mid Pinellas County is to be healthy, there need to be healthy children and healthy families. So whatever opportunities do happen to come our way, we are certainly open to continuing to grow. Obviously, our family support services. We know that family need wraparound services. We know that the population in Pinellas County and Tampa Bay has grown tremendously, and it's going to continue to grow. We know that by 2050, there was a research study that was done by Policy Link and the University of Southern California, USC, that was funded through the Foundation for Healthy St. Petersburg. that said by 2015, Pinellas County is going to be incredibly diverse. So as we have new neighbors moving into Lillman, moving into Pinellas County, we want to ensure that the community really has the resources, has the supports to welcome, anybody that moves into Tampa Bay, into obviously Lillman, into the community, and that those families and those individuals are connected with the resources that they need. So we envision an increase in demand, frankly, and a responsibility to respond to that demand as it happens.
So, for all the wonderful things that you have going on in the community, how can people get involved?
A number of volunteer opportunities. I'll throw a couple of them out. Every year we host the Thomas Chance Thanksgiving dinner in November. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. It's on a Saturday. We are always looking for volunteers to help us with setup, to help us to get the word out, and to help feed anybody in the community that wants to come and have a communal meal with us. So folks are certainly invited to that event as well as to participate in that. We're always looking for junior leaders. So if there are students in the community that need their Bright Futures hours and want to become mentors to younger students in our after-school program, helping them with homework, helping them to read, we are always looking for those junior leaders. We're always looking for folks to help us to donate to the food pantry. Any canned items, cereal boxes. If you want to adopt the food pantry, it only operates through the generosity of our neighbors in our community. We don't have funding for the food pantry. So, and yet it is very, very successful. And this past year, we distributed over 2,000 bags of food to individuals. And that's a lot for an unfunded
absolutely.
service. And for people just walking into your center asking for a little bit of help when it comes to that, that basic need. So we've always have different opportunities. We always welcome guest speakers that have experience in traveling perhaps, or have different cultural backgrounds to come and share those experiences with the Summer Around the World program and be a guest speaker with the kids. So we absolutely love that. And again, we're an organization that's always open to opportunities and to collaborating.
That's incredible.
And they can certainly email me. I kind of funnel communications for the organization. So I'm sure that you'll share my email address, but folks are certainly welcome to send me an email.
Yeah. If you don't mind sharing it now as well, just for anyone watching.
Yeah. Anyone can reach me at C Tassara, that's spelled TASSARA, at LANFC.org. So C Tassara at LANFC.org.
Thank you so much, Katerina. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to make sure we mentioned? I know what you do is incredible and robust and ever evolving, so we can talk about it all day, but are there any major points that you wanted to hit that I didn't ask you?
Say that a big part of the heart and mission of the organization is really to be a safe place, especially for our very diverse community. When we're talking about the Lillman, Pinellas Park, Kenneth City, North St. Petersburg, East Lillman, we have a large community, growing, a beautiful community of immigrant families that have come from Vietnam, from Laos, from China, from Korea. Our Asian community in Mid-County, Pinellas County, is beautiful and growing. We also have an expanding Latino community of individuals. So as an organization, we have really built a team to be responsive to that need. And that maybe goes back to your question about how have you evolved. I mean, we've always been very diverse, but we've maintained that commitment to really creating an organization where when you walk through our doors, perhaps you see someone that looks like you. And perhaps you're able to speak to someone in the language that is your home language, that you feel the most comfortable being vulnerable in. And there's so much value to that when we're raising children, when we're helping that single mother, when we are, helping that family that maybe just moved into Florida and is looking to establish themselves, looking to be successful and be able to then contribute. There's so much to be said for that. And we have so many of our kids that about 50% actually of our children, more than 50% actually, about 50% are Asian, but more than that, English may not be their first language. And I can tell you that for a child and for myself, as my first language was not English. English is my second language. Being able to speak with someone, to connect with someone, to be heard as you're trying feverishly to master a second language, because you've mastered one. Now you're a little kid and you're trying to master two languages. There is such beauty to that and such intelligence that comes with mastering other languages and other cultures.
Yeah.
And it's something to really be applauded in many of our clients that walk through our doors. So that's something that really makes us unique, is that we hear that, we see that, and we've adjusted our team and our staff to really be open to all and to really celebrate the diversity that is in Pinellas County and is in our country and our world.
Well, and we know, how difficult it is to navigate a lot of these government services as a native English speaker. So imagine trying to do it when you don't speak very much English. My gosh, that's a really important service that you provide to the community.
Yeah, and there's so much, like I said, there to be said for trust.
Yeah.
And for a lot of our families, just walking in and again, seeing someone that looks like them, that speaks the language, for our parents, being able to say, okay, so here's how it is in the United States, right? Or here's how it is in Pinellas County. Because maybe they've lived in the United States, they've grown up in a different place, but they're just new. They moved in from New York or Tennessee or, Georgia, and they're living now in Pinellas County. Here's how our system is set up. Let us help you. We want to make sure that we connect them with our partners, at St. Pete College or at USF or, whatever resources, because we know that if they're connected, if they're supported, if they know what to do, the children in the home are going to know what to do. They're going to feel good. They're going to have the same resources, the same supports that all other children have. And that is going to make the community successful
And stronger. Absolutely. Well, that's incredible. Katerina, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for all the work you do with the Lealman and Asian Neighborhood and Family Center. It's an incredible, important community resource, and I encourage everyone watching to get involved.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And we look forward to welcoming any phone calls, any emails, any requests for information from our community.
That's wonderful. Thank you.